And we're live. Yes. Ring Kings podcast. We down one today, guys. We down one today. Shout out to OTR Mike. He couldn't make it on this stream. It was a little too early. He's got to handle his business. All right. So hold on. Let me turn off there we go. Getting a little distracted in the background there. But yes, we just finished watching Oleksandr Usyk versus Anthony Joshua, part 2. All right. Look, it lived up to the hype. It was a good fight.
Yeah.
In fact, I'll say it was a great fight. I thought the first fight was an excellent fight. This fight was better.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Usyk wins in a split decision, 115, 113, 116, 112, 113, 115. Didn't really agree with the judging. Personally, I had it 9-3. I thought he won by a wider margin, but I think it was a very competitive fight, and Anthony Joshua fought a better fight than he did the first time around. He hurt Usyk a couple of times.
Yes.
He went to the body all throughout the fight. I think that slowed down Usyk a bit. He was more aggressive than he was in that first fight. Usyk, he's just a better fighter, though. He's just a better boxer.
Yeah, so like B said, split decision. I didn't agree with the split decision. B had it 9-3. I had it 7-5. All right. I think again, like the same thing with the first fight, just not enough activity from Anthony Joshua. And I think that's what he was frustrated about in at the end of the fight. We'll talk about that in a minute. But when he had Usyk hurt, because when they said it was a low blow, it wasn't a low blow, right? He played it off like it's a low blow. It was right on the belt, and it absolutely hurt him. And it was a good veteran move to buy some time. But Anthony Joshua should have went right back at him, right? If he says it's a low blow, whatever. I know I hurt you. Go right back at him. He hit him again a couple times in the fight with body blows, and you can see it affected Usyk. You have to jump on him when that happens, right? One round. It really, I thought Usyk was going to go down. It was close. That was in the 9th round. I remember it was 9th round. I said this could be a turn to fight, but Usyk, to his credit, came right back out in the 10th round and took control right back. Right.
Yeah. Like it was a low blow the first time when they stopped it. It was low.
It was right on the belt line.
It was low. But
I don't agree.
But Joshua did go to the body a lot. He slowed him down, and like I said, in that 9th round, I mean, he came out and he landed a lot of punches to the body. He landed to the head in that round, which he wasn't really able to do for most of the fight. But I mean, he landed some vicious body shots, and he trapped Usyk on the ropes at one point. And yeah, Usyk was in survival mode for a lot of that 9th round. But then, like I said, he came back out in the 10th and immediately took control back.
Yes.
He hurt Joshua in the 10th round, and he landed a lot of combinations, and I mean he showed Anthony what was what in the 10th there.
Yeah, and, there's a couple of times Joshua got hit. He got rocked pretty hard. I'm not sure how hurt he was. I think he just threw a flurry of punches, and I think it was more Joshua being a little discombobulated, right? Because he was slipping punches, he's hitting them, he's turning. He does that Lomachenko thing where he steps to your side, and as soon as you turn, he's going to hit you, right?
Yeah.
But I think that's what frustrated Joshua. I think Joshua looked at it as, yes, he's hit me with these little flurries here and there. They're not causing much damage, but when I hit him with the harder punches. Because what was it? I want to say maybe the 11th round, he hit Usyk with a straight right, and that again, that's when at that time you're talking about where he was on the ropes, and I think he was hurt. But Usyk weathered it, man. But I can see why he'd be frustrated by it, because Usyk is a smaller fighter, and I'm sure he's looking at it as, hey, these punches aren't really doing much damage to me. But that's why you have to be more active, right? Because there are times he's just standing around. You can't just be a sitting duck when he starts doing that. You have to start exchanging.
Well, but that's the thing. For the most part, it is, I think a lot of frustration in fighting Usyk, but he was hurt in that 10th round. Like he was on his way out. Towards the end of the 10th round, he just backed up and laid on the ropes. Like he just backed up willingly and just sat down on the ropes because he was out of it.
But he does that sometimes. I'm not sure if he was on his way out.
If there was some, if they gave him a 4-minute round like they did your boy Badu Jack, that would have been the end of the fight right there. But no, yeah,
Yeah.
the thing is, yeah, that's how Usyk gets guys out. He throws a ton of punches,
Yes.
and yes, he doesn't have knockout power, right? But I mean, he hits hard. He's a professional fighter. He's a heavyweight fighter. He's hitting them hard. It's just not one punch knockout power. And the thing is, it's easy to sit and say, yeah, he's got to be more active and kind of engage more with him. But Usyk is faster.
He's great.
He's faster.
Yeah.
He's more accurate. He's a great defensive fighter. And he has great foot movement, great head movement. He's slipping a lot of punches and answering right back. And like you said, he's going. I mean, he's changing the angles on you, right? It's not even just that he's slipping your punches. It's now he's almost behind you and you got to turn around and find him again. He's punching you in the face. He's constantly throwing. So it's harder to just, be more active. I mean, I agree that is the answer, but it's a very difficult thing to accomplish.
Oh yeah. In no way am I trying to downplay anything. Usyk's just great, right? Usyk's just great. I'm just pointing out, where it kind of went wrong for Anthony Joshua. But real quick, let's give a shout out to the chat. First of all, there's 43 people in here. Go ahead and hit that like button. And if you're new, hit that subscribe button. All right. We're going to be giving you a lot of live streams here in the next few weeks and upcoming weeks because we have a lot of events coming up. So, if you like the content, we usually have a third member with us, OTR Mike. He's not able to make it today, but he'll be with us in the future. So a lot of good content over here. I can't talk today, but shout out to Deshaun. Our guy Deshaun says AJ had a mental breakdown. We're going to talk about that. He did. Yeah, he had a meltdown. He said it. He said it was his passion that kind of came out at the end, but we'll discuss that. Shout out to D Weezy says check off another W in the round robin bet. There you go. If you're looking for some hot bets, D Weezy's your guy. Okay. Backyard Action Media is where you can find him. Yes, Davon's in the house, says hashtag Ring Kings Podcast. Salute to you, man. Appreciate you coming through. All right. Roger M, shout out to you. Thank you for joining the live stream. Says this AJ version was great. Yes, absolutely. Oh God, Maddie Gunner, what's going on, Maddie? He said split decision my ass. Hey man, hey, I was shocked. I thought it was a great fight, but split decision.
Yeah, I thought it was a very competitive fight, but I had it 9-3.
Yeah. 9-3 for B, 7-5 for me. Either way, we did not have Anthony Joshua winning.
Yeah, there was no Anthony Joshua won. That wasn't in it.
I think when he let Usyk come back in the 10th round and reestablish dominance, that's where he really lost the fight for me. Had he got out there and really kind of pushed it, like if he's going to stand in front of you throwing punches, swing away, right? Swing away. And let him know, okay, you're going to hit me with a lot, you're going to slip a lot, but I'm going to catch you every now and then. And when I catch you, you're going to feel it. Like he should have been like, I don't care, I'll take these hits, right? Sell out a little bit. It's easier said than done, right? But I mean, that's what you got to do when you're fighting a great fighter. And Usyk is a great fighter, right? Shout out to Chris White, says Joshua should not be allowed to throw anything but a body punch next camp. Hey, his body punches were devastating.
Yeah,
hooks and uppercuts were wide open for Joshua to throw. Look, it's harder to fight a smaller fighter, right? Who's a quicker fighter. He's smaller and quicker. I think against any other heavyweight, Joshua could have had his way, right? Joshua was a very skilled fighter. He just fought somebody that's more skilled than him, right? He's not going to run to. I don't think he'll run to anybody else in the heavyweight division that's more skilled than Usyk.
No, not even close.
Roger M says it would give Wilder a hard time. Wilder couldn't beat either one of these fighters. Sorry,
he could beat Anthony Joshua if he got if he has that puncher's chance, right? Because you can hurt Joshua, you can put Joshua down, but he's nowhere near as skilled as Anthony Joshua.
Yeah,
and obviously neither Usyk either.
Right.
Usyk would wreck Deontay Wilder.
Yeah. The Papachenko School of Boxing really shined tonight. Yeah, man. Yeah, shout out to them. Billy Nasher, shout out to you. Thanks for coming through to the live stream. He says AJ just too stiff, no flexibility, movement or punches. I don't agree with that. He's a heavyweight, right? Most heavyweights they're not going to be as flexible as your middleweights and welterweights and things of that nature. You just have somebody who comes from a smaller division. He just had that more natural bend. He still fights a little bit smaller than the other heavyweights.
Right. Like he put the weight on, but he still has the movement. And it's difficult for any heavyweights to keep up with him. He's extremely quick of foot and hand and head, right? Like he's a fast fighter. And most heavyweights are not. Heavyweights fight at a slower pace.
Anthony Joshua, I thought he looked great. I think he had a good bend. He was bending his knees. He was moving around. Good reflex. Really good. I thought he looked great. Yeah. He just fought somebody better. That's all. There's no shame in that.
And Eddie Hearn said it after the fight too when they interviewed him. He's like, he said, I thought that Anthony Joshua had him in the ninth, but Usyk came back and took control in the 10th. And he's like, he's just a better fighter. There's no shame in it.
Yeah. 95 people in here. Wow. Okay, you guys are shuffling in here. Go ahead and hit that like button. If you're new, hit the subscribe button. Shout out to Morgan Byrne. I apologize if I'm messing up the names. Great performance from Joshua. Left nothing behind. Yes, but Usyk is a beast. His movement and conditioning is on another level. Great fight, man. Yes,
it really is, because in the ninth round when Usyk was hurt and kind of on the run and trying to survive. I mean, I was shocked how he came back out in the 10th round and like it was round one. Yeah. Like it was round one. He was back to just bouncing around, throwing his combinations and everything. Like it was incredible.
Both of them did a great job bouncing back from times they got hurt. Both of them. I was more impressed with Usyk because the body shots really took a damage to him. Mm-hmm. Even when he got rocked in the head a couple times, you could tell, man, he probably doesn't want to get hit like that again.
Yeah,
but he went right back out there, right in Joshua's face, and said, "Let's go!" Like great fight. These guys gave us two great fights, in my opinion. Yeah. And I remember when we live streamed after the Wilder and Fury 3 fight, everybody's talking about how great that fight was. I was like, no, that wasn't a great fight. That was an entertaining fight.
Right.
This was a great fight. This was a great fight.
Yeah.
Odu Tola Adeyemi. I hope I pronounced that name right. It says, please.
True win.
Yeah, you type that again. I can't. I'm not sure what you meant to put there. Miss Orion Nebula says bodybuilders just lose. He's not just a bodybuilder.
Had you said model, then I can get with that. But, like again, he's a very athletic guy, and he showed very well. It's just Usyk is on a higher tier. He's on another level from Joshua.
Yes,
even at his best.
Yeah,
Usyk is just better.
All right, I'm gonna get a couple more comments, and then we're gonna talk about the meltdown that Anthony Joshua had. Chris White says, "Look at the amount of time Fury spent laying on the ground. Wilder can knock out anybody. He can knock out anybody for sure, but he's nowhere near as skilled as these fighters that are in the ring right now. I mean, he's not as skilled as Fury, and I don't think Tyson Fury is as skilled as these guys that are fighting in the ring tonight. So." Yes, Wilder can knock out anybody. He can beat anybody theoretically. When you're at the heavyweight division, it takes one punch, right? And Wilder has the deadliest punch at that division. But the man can't jab. He can't put his hands up to block. Like he's so flawed.
He would have such a low chance of landing that punch against either one of those guys, I think.
Yeah. Let's see. JH Tony X says AJ gets tunnel vision sometimes and doesn't apply pressure when he needs to at times. Yes, I agree. I agree with that.
I agree with that to an extent. Again, when you're talking about an Usyk fight, Usyk is moving nonstop for 12 rounds, and heavyweights just are not going to be able to match that. I mean, Anthony Joshua did it as best he could, but there's times when he had to stop. He had to stop and take a break because he's not built to do that.
Yeah. Okay. Doombrush says AJ threw his dummy out the ring. You talking about the belts? Yeah, he did. Yeah. He tossed 2 belts out the ring. We're going to get to that in 1 second. Shout out to Call Wide. Thank you for joining the live stream. Says Usyk is an ATG. What's ATG?
All-time great.
Oh, okay. All-time great. Yes. Joshua isn't quite on that level. His lack of skill and movement prevents him from openings for his power punches, and his lack of stamina stops him from being aggressive. Great analysis, Carl. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Top Welder 147 says AJ the Big Doser went on one after the loss, made himself look like an idiot. All praise to Usyk for giving thanks and the Lord Jesus Christ in a Muslim state. Okay, well look, he did have a little breakdown. I think I don't think he made himself look stupid. I think he did a little little grandstanding there when he came back in and grabbed the mic. So I'll give you a minute, champ. Let me talk. But yes, he went off. He walked out, came back. He even argued with Usyk for a second about how he thought he should have won the fight, and he gathered himself for a second, took the mic, and said, "Hey, look, I just, that was just emotion right there, right?" And he explained his upbringing. He explained how he didn't get into boxing the conventional way, and how like he's very proud of what he did. He should be extremely proud. To me, you can lose fights, but there's nothing to be ashamed of in this fight. Nothing to be embarrassed about. But yeah, I mean, he didn't like how it went down, and you shouldn't be happy about losing. That's one of the criticisms that I kind of had about Joshua in the past. When he lost to Anthony Ruiz, is it Andy Ruiz, not Anthony Ruiz, Andy Ruiz. He just seemed kind of whatever about it, which made me question: does he have the heart for this?
Right.
And this fight, or those fights that remind you that he does, man. Like he's passionate about it, right? And he just he's passionate, B. He's passionate. He's got the skill. But there's just one thing, B. This is one thing that he's missing. One thing. He don't have that dog in him. He doesn't have that dog in him.
It was fair to question, because, like you said, after the Ruiz fight, or during the Ruiz fight, it looked like he was quitting. Right, it didn't look like he was actually getting beat. It's like, hey, I'm down because I just don't really want to deal with this right now, and I'm gonna take the loss and get out of here. But yeah, he's shown against Usyk that, like you said, he does have that heart, he does have that passion, and he puts a lot into the preparation for these fights. It takes a ton of work, and it's just you in there, right? It's not like playing football or basketball or whatever. It's all on you. Everybody's watching you. It's just you and him in that ring, and he gave every single thing that he had. And I can understand feeling like he won the fight. I mean, he's landing the harder shots for sure. And I think, actually at the end, he may have even outlanded Usyk. But he knows he hurt Usyk in the 9th.
He outlanded Usyk?
He was outlanding him late in the fight. I don't know what the final numbers were. I know when
they counted his headbutts to Usyk's fist.
Yeah.
How did that happen?
But when you're Anthony Joshua and you're like, hey, I'm handling this much better than the previous fight. The game plan is working. I'm landing hard shots. I'm tiring him out. I'm going to the body. I'm hurting him. Yeah. And then they're like, you won. One judge says you won, and then you lose a split decision. It's tough to deal with, man. And we forget a lot of times that the athletes are human, and you can't expect them to just take everything in stride just because you think that's the classy way it should go down, right? Like it's an incredible amount of disappointment to process in a very small amount of time.
All right, so we got like 130 people in here. Actually, it's I'm not sure how many are on YouTube. We got some people watching on Facebook as well. I should have mentioned that we are streaming live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. Okay, so if you're watching on YouTube, you can also follow us at Ring Kings Pod on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. All right, we're back up on Facebook. Our Facebook was down for a little bit. When you go to the Facebook, well, actually, no, the Facebook isn't at Ring Kings Pod. The Facebook is at LBHTShow, which stands for Lunch Break Hot Take. For those of you who are new, that's our other main sports channel. Yes. All right. So go ahead and follow both places, right? If you're new here, hit that subscribe button. Also, if anybody's looking for a super chat because you love our content and you just want to support, okay? Here's how we do super chats over here. There's two ways. If you're in the chat box, you see a pin link there that will take you to our stream elements. Don't be afraid to click that link, okay? That's a safe link. All right, you can go there, make a donation. Also, right below B, $ LBHTShow. That is our Cash App. Both ways, you can leave a donation, leave a comment, and we'll give you a nice little animation right next to my face. We'll read your comment on air. All right. Yes. Appreciate it. All right. Let's read some more comments here. Jamie Lester says, soon as Joshua faced elite level fighters, he lost. He even struggled against an old Klitschko. I mean, he beat him though. Knocked him out.
Yeah. And that's fair to say, right? Mm-hmm. But he at least he fought elite level fighters. Right, because we talk about Tyson Fury a lot. Tyson Fury hasn't beat anybody.
Nope,
not really.
I mean, he beat the older Klitschko.
He beat the older Klitschko, and then he had a trilogy against a guy who doesn't know how to fight.
Yeah,
who doesn't know how to box.
Jamie thinks Fury would beat Usyk. It's interesting, right? Fury, he's got skill. I don't think he has as much skill as Anthony Joshua, but to B's point, Fury is, I think, a little bit savvier in the ring. He knows how to use his size advantage. Mm-hmm. I think it'd be an interesting fight. I think Usyk will work him.
I think Usyk beats him, but it would be an interesting fight because I think he, like you said, he knows how to be a bully more than Joshua does. I think. He would smother him. He'd rough him up. He'll try to lean on him. He try to really wear him out. I don't think he would be successful at it, but we'll see. We'll see if he comes out of retirement and takes that fight.
Matty Gunner says Wilder is the friend that comes over to play Tekken and uses the same move with Eddie Gordo over and over. It's funny that you mentioned Tekken, Matty. I was watching the new Tekken anime that came on Netflix last night. It wasn't good, but I watched the entire thing.
And it's also funny that you mentioned that because I am the one who uses Eddie Gordo. That's my guy. Right, don't be talking about Eddie Gordo.
So speaking of Wilder, here's what I will say. If Wilder had Usyk in a position where he's hurt, this is the difference between Wilder and Joshua. Wilder would sell completely out to try to finish him. Yeah. Now, the punches may or may not land because he's not accurate, right? But if he smells a little bit of hurt on your side, he will go all out. He will run to get to you across the ring. He doesn't care how many times he gets hit. He will sell out to put you away. That's what Anthony Joshua needed. He needed a little bit of that tonight.
Yeah, because if there's a little bit of blood in the water, Deontay Wilder's going to be windmilling the rest of the round. Like you said, he may not land anything, but he's going to try. He's going to throw everything at you.
Shout out to Mark Hard. It says AJ looks scared from the start. Retire now. I don't agree, Mark. I don't agree with that. I don't think he looks scared at all. He realized he was fighting a very skilled fighter, and he tried to use patience and strategy, and some things worked. It's just, look, when you're fighting a great fighter, man, sometimes your best just isn't enough.
I don't think he was scared. I think he came in confident. I think he came in ready. Like you said, he just lost to a better fighter.
Yeah,
it's sad, but that's the way it goes sometimes.
Yeah. Marcus McClendon says that Joshua interview was tough to watch. It wasn't, and I was fine with it. I've seen worse, right? Me and B both seen worse. That wasn't the worst thing in the world. I didn't like that he kind of just, he hogged the mic a little bit. I felt that was a little, look, just give a couple words real quick. Hey, congratulations. But he did give Usyk a lot of praise. He did give him a lot of praise. Joshua was a classy dude, man. He can have a little emotional breakdown like that for a minute, man. I get it. I get it. And people are hard on him. People are criticizing him, and he listens to that stuff. All these athletes, all these sports nowadays, when they say, "Oh, I don't listen to the criticism. I don't care what anybody thinks," that's a lie, right? Yeah. This generation of athletes grew up on social media. They see everything. They're engaged with everything. They hear all the criticism. So of course that stuff gets to him, right? He believes he's a great fighter. He believes in himself, right? And he felt like, this was going to be his moment to like his defining moment, and almost was.
Even if you are that way naturally, you're like, I don't really care what other people think of me. You're talking about millions of people talking about you constantly over the course of several years, it's gonna get to you eventually.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
nobody can shut that out forever.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he probably, he internalized a lot of it and said, use his motivations. I'm gonna show all these people, I'm gonna put in the work. I'm gonna go out there. I'm gonna beat him, and like you said, it's gonna be my moment. And it almost was, but it wasn't.
Yeah. Shout out to Mr. Face. He says no trainer can put in what God left out. Technically, Joshua was never going to beat Usyk. Yeah, but that sometimes technical skills doesn't always win you the fight. Especially at heavyweight. And that it looked like that was going to be the case sometimes. Man, he hurt Usyk, and Usyk, he weathered the storm, but at some points it didn't look good for him. Roger M says didn't see his mental breakdown post fight, but doubt it was more cringe than AJ boxing in Saudi Arabia while advocating for civil rights. Money talks.
There's also that. But yeah, no, money, it talks to everybody, right? Yeah, it's not just the AJ thing. It's not just the Usyk thing. That's an everybody thing, unfortunately.
Yeah. Shout out to Sockhead says AJ accepts defeat too easily. I don't think he didn't do it tonight. He didn't accept it at all. And shout out to Marcus McClendon says, are y'all watching UFC 278 as well? If so, who wins, Usman or Edwards? B is picking the upset.
Yeah, I'm taking Edwards, man. I think that Usman's gotten a little bit arrogant. A little bit. I think he's letting people get to him too much. I think he's letting people hit him too much in his last couple of fights. He hasn't been focused on the defense. He's letting guys punch him and just thinking, I can take it and I can give it back. And I think that catches up with him tonight.
I would say a couple fights. I would say in the last fight he was that way against Covington, right? And I think that was from just him realizing the previous two fights before that his boxing skills, right, were improving drastically, so much to the point where he literally took the soul from Masvidal, and he thought, well, I broke Covington's face the first time I fought him, and I'm much more improved, so this one's gonna be walking the park, and it almost was. Right, he knocked him down early, and it looked like it was going to be a short night. But shout out, but credit to Covington. He came back and he made some adjustments. But I don't think he takes Edwards lightly, because the first time they fought, it was no cakewalk. Right, I think he recognizes Edwards' skills.
We'll see. Maddie says it's coming home.
Okay,
Leon's gonna win the decision. It's coming home, baby.
Okay, all right. Look, I would be surprised, but not shocked. I mean, Edwards is very skilled.
Yeah,
very skilled. Shane Boss says no way Wilder would beat Usyk too fast. Beat Usyk is what he meant. Too fast, and Wilder gets tired too quick. Yes. Yeah. Man, Wilder would have just fell out. Wilder, the minute he slipped, because we gotta talk about that. Everybody was slipping in that ring tonight, right? That paint that was in the ring. That was causing issues for the previous fight. Wilder would have gotten in there. He would have slipped one time and not gotten up.
Right. Yeah. Roger M saying he doesn't think. Oh,
that was my bad.
Doesn't think that Usman is arrogant. He tries to play a Conor character, but ends up sounding forced and cringed. I don't mean outside of the ring. I mean the way he's fought the last couple of fights. It just, I could be wrong, but it looks to me like he's saying, hey, you know what, you guys can't beat me, and he's letting guys get to him because he wants to show how great he is on his feet, and he is. He's much improved on the feet, but I think that he's just kind of letting it slip a little bit, not too much, but like I said, we'll see tonight. We'll see.
All right, we got about 90 some odd people in here. Make sure you hit that like button, like our guy Ravens online Gatekeepers. That's another person. Yes. If you're into football. Look, American football, because we got some our friends across the pond watching right now. We're talking about American football. If you're a fan, I'm a Ravens fan. Our guy Ravens online Gatekeeper is a Ravens fan. B's a Panthers fan. All right. We talk a lot of football on Lunch Break Hot Take, but we do UFC, basketball, all that good stuff. So hit that subscribe and support our friends as well. All right, let's see. Jamie Lester says Wilder's punches would not be effective against Usyk. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. No, I get what you're saying, Jamie. I get what you're saying, and I agree. I was just saying, making a comparison that if he happened to catch Usyk, right? Because that's the thing, at heavyweight, anything could happen. If he caught Usyk and Usyk was hurt, Wilder would not let up. That's the only difference. Right?
A comparison of attitude, not of
Yes.
skill.
No. I mean, he wouldn't let up. That doesn't mean he's going to hit him, but I'm just saying he wouldn't let up, right? He would go after him. Let's see. Maddie said, that being said, Leon got rocked by Nate Diaz. I said that. I told B that. I was like, oh, yeah.
Everybody gets rocked, Maddie. It's all right. All right. Everybody gets rocked.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah. So, okay.
I mean, he's probably going to lose, but I'm going with Leon tonight, though.
Let's talk a little bit about the fight right before that. That was Zhilei Zhang.
Oh man, I can't even. I don't know why I can't remember.
That was out. Yeah, what was the other guy's name?
I forget how to pronounce it exactly.
Listen, I didn't think there was a problem with the mat until those two went in there. One,
yeah,
you want to talk about sweating profusely. Every time somebody like it, I didn't notice it at first.
Yeah.
Huh? Say it again.
Philip Ergovich.
Philip Ergovich.
Ergovich.
Yeah. I apologize. He looked good. They both look good, but every time somebody got hit, especially Zhang, man, it was just like somebody. It's like I took my cup of water and just threw it in his face. I was like, yo, what? I was like, what is that? What like was it like? Like, is that? I thought maybe they put too much Vaseline, but I'm like, Vaseline doesn't splatter everywhere like that.
It's like they said. They said he got he drinks 5 gallons of water a
day,
and it all comes out. I guess
that's why he was taking so many punches, man. Like his punches were really slipping. Like sheesh. But the ring got real slippery. I got scared for him because he fell into a split at the end of one round, and I was like, oh, that didn't look good. But Zhang's also flexible at 39 years old. B 39.
Yeah,
I didn't know he was that old. The man looked good. He lost, but he looked good. He wasn't happy with the decision either. But
and again, I can understand. I mean, listen, I don't know that either one of them blocked a single punch in that fight. So yeah, whichever one of them you are, you think you won. You landed everything you threw.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So if you're here for some Usyk and Joshua fight, we're talking about that. We're kind of flowing in and out because we're UFC fans as well. So if you hear us talking a little bit of UFC, that's what it is. But keep putting your comments in there about the card tonight, and we'll respond to it. Roger M says, if Nate pillow hands almost knocked out Edwards, just imagine a straight from Usman. So okay, Matty Gunner. Okay, he's our MMA expert. Do you think at this stage Nate Diaz has soft hands or still hands of stone? Because I was contending that would be too. I'm like, Nate Diaz don't be hurting people like that. Like I think it's a volume of punches that could hurt you, but he's not really hurting you like that.
That was at the end of the 5th round.
Yeah, but he didn't hit Leon Edwards the whole fight.
He hit him, just not as much as Leon hit him. Right?
Okay,
look,
all right.
It's not all about power, right? I mean, anybody can get caught, and Leon got caught. He almost got put out, but he didn't get put out, did he? But he didn't get put out, did he?
Yeah. No, he didn't. Then. He didn't. He survived. Then. He survived. All right, back to Anthony Joshua. B.
He survived. He won all 5 rounds. Whatever. All right, go ahead.
He might put to sleep tonight. He might be taking a nap. Anthony Joshua, where does he go from here?
Oh, man, that's tough.
I don't think it's tough at all.
Because I mean, you've got Usyk saying he's not fighting anybody but Fury. Fury is retired. That's kind of the top of the heavyweight division. You don't want to see a third Usyk and Joshua fight, right? So
I do.
I mean,
not back to back.
I would. I mean, he's shown in the first 2 fights he's just not as good as Usyk, right? Yeah. I don't think he deserves another shot at Usyk. And like I said, Usyk, he said in the ring that he's not fighting anybody but Fury. Either he's fighting Fury or he's not fighting at all, is what he said.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess in terms of entertainment value, it would be Wilder.
That's
But
what I was gonna say. I was gonna say Wilder.
but it's just like I don't, that that fight's not really anything, right? That's not something that gets you back into the championship conversation or anything like that. But I mean, I guess it's where he would have to go at this point.
So look, right now, there aren't too many fights. There aren't too many top guys, right?
Yeah,
At heavyweight.
There's the one.
Yeah, like so. Yes, beating Wilder is the first step towards getting back into the title contention, right? He's not going to get another title shot right after losing twice, right?
Yeah.
Like that's just not going to happen. But doesn't mean he can't make a third fight happen, especially with the lack of competition at heavyweight. He goes out.
If Usyk is serious, then it's just not going to happen. Period. Like Usyk is sounding like he wants one more fight and he's going to quit. Is what it sounded like.
Okay,
he would just have to wait for the belts to be essentially vacated.
But either way, that gets him back into another title shot, right? If Usyk says I want to take on one more fight and then I'm retiring, then the belts are going to be up for grabs, and then Joshua can go back out there and try to unify again, right? And this time there's nobody really standing in his way, right? And in fact, that's where you can really get that Joshua and Wilder, get those fights. We can really hype those up. Now, yes, both of them coming off of losses. You say, well, who wants to see that? Those are still two.
Well, Wilder's got to fight very soon, so he'll be coming off a win. Hopefully.
And if he wins, that should be the next fight that gets set up. That was the fight that people wanted to see from the jump, and I think people will still be interested in seeing that, and especially if Usyk gets the fight done with Fury. Or doesn't, and Usyk's just like, hey, there's nobody left for me to fight. I'm retiring, and the belts are vacated. You can get something between Joshua and Wilder set up again, another big money fight. Speaking of big money, I did not realize Anthony Joshua got so much money for this fight. Joshua and Usyk. Yeah. We were sitting here saying how he fumbled the bag when he didn't get that deal done with Fury, but this fight was for the same amount. 75 mil a piece is what they made from their fight purse. Roger M says AJ versus Wilder is a money fight to make. I agree, Roger. I agree with you.
Zhang can bang.
Yeah. Zhang can bang. Yes, Jamie. Yes.
But I think that if Fury comes out of retirement and let's say he actually beats Usyk, I think he stays around to fight Joshua. I think he tries to put together a as big money fight as he can before he goes back into retirement again.
Fury?
Yeah.
I think
if he beats Usyk, I don't think he would beat Usyk, but if he comes back and he beats him, I think he'll try to put together a fight with Joshua.
Yeah. Shout out to Hans Popel. I'm not sure which way to pronounce it. He says, I am Ukrainian. Shout out to Ukraine. He says, and I cheer for Usyk. AJ is good, intelligent guy. All the best is yet to come. Yeah. Hey, and thanks for coming through to the live stream. Yeah. I said it before the fight that, everything is still on the table for Anthony Joshua if he won this fight. But really, everything's still on the table, right? Because there's just not that much competition there. Everything's still on the table. He goes, all right, you lost to the top guy at heavyweight. You go and fight Wilder. You can fight whoever else, take another fight or whatever, or do a tune-up fight, then fight Wilder, whatever, how you want to do it, and then see where Usyk and Fury are after that. They both may be retired, and you can go back and round up the belts again, and you're still on top, right? Yeah. You're still selling pay-per-views. You're still making money. But Wilder and AJ can do a 2-fight deal and make another $100+ million, right? Yeah. So I mean, that's like AJ. The future's still bright for him,
Yeah, and he's still relatively young. He's 32. So I mean, he could hold on to those belts until guys like Jared Anderson are ready to come around and try and challenge for a title.
Yeah. Shout out to Ish. Ish says Wilder will kill AJ. Whoa. Okay. All right. Okay. All right.
I always go back and forth on that because again, AJ is much more skilled than Wilder, but
no question.
It's really just going to take one punch.
Yeah.
So,
but
it would be an interesting fight. I'll put it
would
that
be.
way.
It would be. That's why I think they should sign a 2-fight deal. They should sign a 2-fight deal.
It's like
no, I'm saying find a fake belt to put on the line.
it's like Ortiz, like Luis Ortiz. Wilder fought him, and in their last fight in particular, Luis Ortiz won the first 7 rounds and then got knocked out in one shot.
Yeah,
I think it would go kind of that way.
Yeah. So yeah, that's where we're at. All right. 80 people in here. Make sure you hit that like button if you are new, and also hit that subscribe button. We have a lot of content coming up on this channel. If you haven't been to this channel before, take a look at some of our podcasts that we have out already. We also do a monthly segment called we got 2 now. We got one that's
the watch list.
The watch list where we
soon sparring sessions.
Yes, the watch list where we showcase up and coming fighters. So we got 2 videos out now, one on Xander Zayas and one on Keyshawn Davis. All right. So make sure you go check out those videos. And soon, we should have had it already, but soon we're gonna be showcasing sparring sessions where we try to answer questions, just common questions that folks have about boxing. Some more casual or new fans of boxing, or just boxing fans in general that have been watching for years and they just wonder about certain things, like why are there so many belts out there, right? How many weight classes are there? What is unified versus undisputed mean? Things like that. So
I'm so old. I read this and I thought, why are you talking about Glenn Davis?
He's talking about Jared Anderson.
Jared baby Anderson.
Yes. Speaking of showcasing up and coming fighters, we're gonna be doing one on Jared Anderson pretty soon. So be on the lookout for that. Yeah. All right. Okay. I think we can cover some of the other fights on the card. There was it was like a 5-hour card, but
this card was really weird for me. I mean, not that the fights were bad, but it just lacked energy. Like it was just, I don't know. It seemed like a bunch of sparring matches. Like it just, I don't know. It felt odd.
Do you want to talk about the 4-minute round for Badu Jack?
Sure. Badu Jack against, I believe it was Rivera is his name. I can only think of him as Popeye now. He wears the hat and he's got the pipe. Which, I mean, listen, if that's your stick and you're gonna stick to it, whatever. He has a really unorthodox style. It was a pretty entertaining fight. They were really going at each other. But late in the fight, I believe it was the 8th round. It was a 10-round fight. I believe it was the 8th round. Popeye he won the round. But late in the round, Badu Jack landed, I believe it was a left hook, and kind of stunned him a bit. And then, we're like, hey, he was only got to hold on for a few more seconds and he's going to get saved by the bell. And then the bell didn't ring. And they let Badu Jack beat on him for another 58 seconds for a 3-minute, 58-second round. And everybody was just like, yeah, this is fine.
I was confused. I saw the 10 seconds and I saw Rivera get hurt. And I was like, all right, like me, I was like, oh yeah, he'll weather it or whatever. And the bell never rung. And I thought, oh well, maybe the time was wrong. All right, maybe there's a few more seconds left. And then I was like, well, maybe there's a few more seconds left. And then like I forgot that the round was supposed to be over until the announcer said this round has gone on for 4 minutes. I was like, oh, somebody should do something about that.
Right. Like the person who was keeping time, like, did you at no point between 3 and 3:58 did you say, oh my God, this round's supposed to be over?
Let me tell you something, because Rivera ended up losing the fight.
Yeah.
If I'm his
very
corner,
close fight, it was a split decision.
If I'm his corner, I'm pulling Anthony Joshua. I'm snatching the microphone, and I'm not going to be anywhere near as classy about it. Right? You let my guy go in there and get pounded on for an extra minute.
We'll take the win, and we're suing all of you.
What's the ref doing? Right? Like the ref knew. Like did they have a 10-second tap? I thought I heard the tap.
I didn't hear it. So I can't remember for sure, but I didn't hear.
But he knew something was off. He knew something was off. He could have called time and said, Guys, what's the time left on this round? What's like this my internal clock is saying this something's not right here. What's the
Right.
are we supposed to start the fight? Okay, all right, get to the corner, get to the corners, right? He just let it ride until you heard the bell.
Yeah.
I mean,
hey, he's ain't my job, ain't my problem. All right.
Yeah.
But just incredibly unprofessional.
Yes,
incredibly unprofessional.
You can't have that happen.
You have
and there's no going back. There's no going back.
What
can you do? What can you do? That really helped Badu Jack out.
Yeah, like they're saying, he did all of his damage in that last illegal minute. He won the fight on a split decision. If that round goes the other way, he loses that fight, or maybe it's a draw, which is a Badu Jack special.
Yeah. Shout out to Jason. Jason says Holyfield watched most of or all the unders. He was fifth person to take his seat. Respect. He was there. They showed him early. They're like, hey, you need anything? You need some water? No, I'm good. I'm here to watch some fights. Yeah. I think he was trying to scout to see who the weakest person was he can mount his comeback with.
I was like, yeah, he thinks he still can come back and take over that heavyweight division.
Roger said, funny that I was more interested in the bare knuckle London event than with this card. The Perry versus MVP was a banger. I saw people tweeting about that. I don't know who that is.
Yeah, I heard that Perry, I think it was, got his jaw broken maybe in that fight.
Yeah,
I saw something about that. But yeah, I just bare knuckle is it's a little too much. It's a little too much for me. I don't get down with that.
So like, is one guy not like? I'm assuming one of them isn't an actual boxer, right? Because he was calling out Jake Paul after the fight, and everybody's making a big deal about it. I guess that's the guy that won. That was supposed to be like a major upset. I'm guessing he wasn't like a real boxer or anything like that.
I don't know.
But I never heard of the other guy either. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. I'm probably not gonna look into it either. I'm being honest. All right. So I mean, I think we covered everything. What is coming up next week?
Next week, always catching me off guard, man. Let me pull it up here. We got, obviously, Emmanuel Navarrete is fighting tonight. Next week,
yes,
Jared Anderson, I believe, is fighting on the undercard of another fight. Hang on,
Navarrete, right?
No, I thought that he was fighting next week. Navarrete is fighting tonight. Nico Ali Walsh is on that undercard.
Tonight?
Next, yes.
Hey guys, time out. I don't know if you know this. I'm as you guys know a little secret. Hold on. Nico Ali Walsh is the grandson of Muhammad Ali. Oh man.
Keep that between us. Keep that between us.
Look, it's an ongoing joke that we have over here. No, go ahead.
Next week is Pedraza versus Comey. Jared Anderson, Richard Torres, and Kelvin Davis are all fighting on the undercard of that one. So that'll be pretty good. That's on ESPN Plus next week.
Okay.
Then September 4th, Ruiz versus Ortiz on pay-per-view. And then obviously, you got Canelo on September 17th. So, I mean, there's a lot of stuff coming up. A lot of stuff.
Okay. All right. So we're going to be doing a lot more live streams if you enjoyed this one, which it seems like you guys did. Appreciate you coming through. Roger M says, never was in the channel. Talking about our channel. These live videos, post fights are an interesting way to gather more subs. Thank you, Roger. I'm glad you recognize that. That is the goal. That is the goal.
I hope you hit subscribe.
Yeah. He was like, very smart. You're not going to get me, though.
Right. Not clever enough to get Roger. Okay.
All right.
So the MVP was a great MMA fighter, not UFC champion level. He's a Bellator champion.
Gotcha. Okay. We sleep on Bellator a little bit. I'm going to be honest. We don't watch Bellator nearly as much. I know there's some good fighters over there. Hey. Good for him. I don't think he's going to get Jake Paul in the ring.
Yeah, I saw Nico at Madison Square Garden on the Loma card. He has work to do. Correct. Yes,
correct.
He does.
Yes.
That's why I don't like talking about him.
Look, it's an ongoing joke. They really want you to know that Nico Ali Walsh is the grandson of Muhammad Ali. Anytime they mention his name, they mention that. They will not let you forget it, and it is nauseating. So anytime you bring his name up, I just, I mock it a little bit. But yes, he does have a lot of work to do. He might be good. right? He may not be, but I mean, it's way too early to tell. Way too early to tell. He had a nice knockout in his last fight. I think it was the last fight.
He's just getting an inordinate amount of attention for where he is in his career. That's all.
Yeah.
So
Roger say he's already a sub. Respect to you, Roger. Thank you. Appreciate that. Okay, D Weezy said that's his 5th or 6th straight correct pick boxing. If any of you guys are into sports gambling, if it's legal where you're at, or you're thinking about getting into it, you want to follow D Weezy. D Weezy, go ahead and put your link to your channel in the chat. Okay. Backyard Action Media. He covers all kinds of bets. Right now, he's doing a lot of MLB stuff. When the NFL season starts, he's going to be giving a lot of that. But if you have anything that you want him to cover, he'll give you his taste. And like he's telling you that he's 5 or 6 straight, making some money off of boxing. So
yes,
he's a good person to follow. All right. All right. So that's it. We'll be back next week with the full staff. We are one person short. Okay. If you love what we're doing here, you're gonna really love it when OTR Mike comes back. Okay.
Yes. But before we go, real quick, if you enjoy the content and you want to support the show, like I said, we have the Cash App, we have the Stream Elements, but we also have the Patreon, patreon.com/LBHTShow. It's kind of a combined account for this podcast as well as our general sports show. We have a few tiers there. We have the $3 tier, which is just kind of for general support, the $10 tier, and then we have a combined $20 tier for both shows. The $10 tier will get you a custom poker set, a poker deck featuring our top 25 it's our top 25 fighters of all time. And if you haven't seen that video, it's a 5-part series on the channel. Make sure you go ahead and check that out.
Yeah. Davon said the other one. Yes. OTR Mike, aka the other one.
The other one.
Yes. All right. So that is it. Let me bring this back up before we get out of here. I think we'll leave it there. Thank you everybody for showing up. Man, you guys are really passionate about this fight. Great fight. Made me stand up a couple times. Joshua has nothing to be ashamed of. Usyk is just a great fighter. We all slept on Usyk. I slept on. Well, B didn't sleep on Usyk. I slept on Usyk. But he won me over. He's the top guy there. I don't think anybody can beat him. Not even Fury. Definitely not Wilder. But look, man. Again, there's still some fights to be made. There's still some entertaining fights to be made at heavyweight between Wilder, Joshua. Ruiz is Ruiz. But
he's fighting Ortiz. That'll be entertaining.
Yeah. And then we'll see if Fury wants to do one more match. We'll see how much Usyk wants to fight, how much more he wants to fight. But we got up and coming fighters like Jared Anderson that we'll be showcasing here pretty soon. So lots of promising fights coming up at the heavyweight division. I think this is probably the best it's been in a while.
In a while, yeah. Which is not saying a lot, but congrats to those guys.
Yeah. All right, with that, we're getting out of here. We got just under an hour. We usually we keep saying we're gonna make this quick and make it like 30 minutes, but we always go over an hour. But we're going just under an hour today. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Yes. Once again, hit that subscribe button on your way out. B, are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, we are out of here. Y'all be safe. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and we will see you next time. Peace out.